one of the things, we talked about this off camera as well, but when you talk about gluten, why is that something that we're hearing so much about just in the last couple of decades? Is it something that is more prevalent in the foods that people are eating, or why is it such a concern, that we didn't hear about in the 70s, 80s, and prior to that?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, if you take it all the way back historically to, Jason and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and back in the days of Pharaoh, that's when the whole grain thing really got kicked up a notch, right? Because, the plagues are coming, well, we can avoid the plagues by storing grain. And that's one good thing about wheat, barley, rye, and oats. It stores forever if you do it correctly, right? And you can make a million things from it, right? So it's easy to do. But back in Pharaoh's day, the average life expectancy, I think, was 28 or something like that. So people didn't live long enough to experience the net negative effects of chronic gluten consumption over the course of your life. Because I'm talking about microscopic tissue damage that builds up over time, like the straws that broke the camel's back, right? So it takes sometimes decades for gluten net negative effects to actually show up and manifest as an active physiological process, right? But, also into the bargain here, part of the problem is food Inc., right? It's the way that food is produced in the United States is a big business thing, and it's for profit. And the people involved in the production of food don't care whether it's healthy or not. Coca-Cola doesn't care that it has, 6 teaspoons of sugar or whatever it does in one Coke. It doesn't care about that. It doesn't care about the carbonation interrupting the digestive process. It doesn't care about that. Their thing is they got to make a profit. So when you put it all together, it's this giant mess that people, the average Joe on the street, has to try to wade through on their own. And my profession, I matriculated at Naturopathic Medical School in 1987. And in 1987, when I was a freshman in Naturopathic Medical School in Seattle, Washington, there were 35 students, I think, in my freshman class. And back in that day, naturopathic medicine was not talked about in polite circles. Naturopathic medicine was the red-headed stepchild that nobody wanted to take responsibility for. So, my profession is extremely small. It's the most rapidly growing medical profession in the United States, and our numbers are growing, but in large part, this information about the importance of medical nutrition, the necessity for medical nutrition, and the net negative effects of fried food, the net negative effects of oil in a bottle, the net negative effects of gluten. It's my profession that's championing this. And I'm only licensed in 17 states right now. So ultimately it's a sociological numbers game. And it's called the practice of medicine for a reason, right? We grow and we learn and we teach people and we learn new stuff, and this is one of the things. We've known about the gluten thing forever, and we've been telling people about it forever, but for some reason now it's just starting to kind of percolate into the collective consciousness of humanity, and it's a good thing.